Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? I am so honored to be here among so many beautiful people, girls, women, and I see males around. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, Charla. Isn't Charla creating tidal waves? Woohoo! Wow. Thank you, Charla, for creating this piece of tapestry, allowing so many of us to have a voice. Thank you. Well, each of us has got a story, and I love telling stories. Today, I would like to share a bit of my story from my book of life. This is my story, my end, my beginning. So it's wedding day. I pinch myself, exuding in the syrup of happiness. Finally getting off the shelf, as many would say. You know, after all, there were so many single years. It was quite a bumpy road on the avenue of love. Today, as I watch my parents, I could see the expression of peace. My father couldn't be more proud, and it made my heart smile. I couldn't help reflecting a thought or two that it was over a decade ago at that time, another wedding was taking place, mine, and it did not happen, causing unsurmountable grief and pain. Today, there was happiness everywhere. The glorious sun, smiling, loving the feel of my wedding dress, wondering how my Californian love was doing, thoughts shifting on my upcoming move. So love it there in California. The mountains, the oceans, yoga, whales, dolphin, Mexican food. That was over 14 years ago. It was 1 week prior to my wedding, excitedly gabbing with a girlfriend about her flight plans, when suddenly my hand moved across my chest. I jumped out of bed, scaled across the hall, looking for the mirror, raised my arms, and there it was, a lump. A lump in the 6 o'clock position under my left breast. My world turned upside down in an instant. This couldn't be happening. The doctors made a mistake. What happened? I used to be this happy-go-lucky person, living each day as charitable as possible. A smile to strangers, a compliment to a female, volunteering at the ICU, preparation for my black belt, 8 healthy drying vitamins, bulletproof for a healthy long life. Not realizing, creeping into my subconscious, the years spent in a quicksand of dark thoughts feeding into my cells. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the happiest time of my life. I had spent years in the school called mind training, reprogramming my mind of thought awareness, slowly climbing out of the black hole of darkness. I had learned to love myself exactly the way I am, with all the little imperfections. The imperfections became perfect because I loved myself. I'm worthy, I am beautiful, I believe in me. So many youthful years were spent in emotional crises, life's struggles, of course the biggest one, affairs of the heart, struggles of lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-love, just lack. When I look back, it was all those years of dark, cryptic thoughts, breaking down the shields of the auric fields, penetrating on a cellular level. And I do believe that cells remember trauma. They have an intelligence. I paid the price for weak emotions. And I do believe in Darwin's theory, survival of the fittest. On the day of surgery, I had my CD play with my healing mantra. My spiritual grandfather, Swami Veda Bharati of the Himalayan tradition, told me to do so. There we were, my family and I, in agony. I felt fear and trying so hard to hold on to hope. I knew in my heart something was not right. My husband and I huddled, clutching my pictures of saints dear friends had given me. My thoughts racing to the supreme. A nurse came by saying, "Hey, not to worry, it's a fibroid." My husband and I looked at each other with such relief. We're gonna have a glass of wine tonight. We're gonna watch our wedding video. Just as the thought was about to complete, the surgeon appeared, looking grim as ever, straight ahead. All I heard was cancer, mastectomy, don't know where it spread. His voice faded. Everyone was staring in the room at me. I was not there anymore. My body was, but my mind drifted. No one could help me. So I called out on God, my Father, for help. Suddenly, this nurse showed up, standing in front of me, and I recognized that accent. It was that familiar sunshine Caribbean tone. And she said with conviction, "You were saved." She reappeared as they were prepping me for surgery and looked straight into my eyes, praying with that loud, authoritative voice. I was staring into her pupils as everything went black. I suddenly felt this soft, white, beautiful, glowing light over me. I was smiling and excited. I was actually giggling and communicating with something, and I felt so happy. My hand glided over the left side and thought, "Oh, I have my breast." And then my awareness was back to this reality. By the way, I tried searching for that nurse, and no one has ever heard of her. Not the nurses there or the surgeons, so that was very interesting. So chemo, the cancer growth was aggressive. HER2 triple negative. My body was young and the cancer took charge. Chemo broke me. It broke my mind, body, and spirit. And I remember distinctly one night, I was trying to concentrate on the Supreme Father, and I just couldn't. I felt like a zombie. I had no thoughts, and it was so weird. I had to rebuild from each level. Each cell was crying, and the psychological pain was difficult. Looking into the mirror, not recognizing the person staring back, losing my hair. Losing my hair, I felt anger. I loved my hair, and I was torn. I knew that I would lose my hair, and I was prepared. But when the time came, I wasn't prepared. One night I went to brush my teeth, and I couldn't. My gums bled, so my fingers became my toothbrush. I couldn't taste. My stomach felt upset most days, and the list went on. It was also at that time that I had the opportunity to grow. Time to strengthen my bond to the higher power. I kept positive, and I couldn't have done it without my family's support. My husband loved me exactly the way I was. They were amazing. My heroes, my iron shield. And my brother, he was like a soldier. No one was allowed to entertain any negativity. I never for one moment considered dying. It was just a major bump along my path. Soon all will be well. A new day is coming. A new day. At the time of diagnosis, I was not aware my brother was conducting a worldwide research for alternative help. He was convinced that there was more than just Western medicine for me. There I was, on a start of an amazing I wanted that picture. so I planned that. So there I was on a start of this amazing out-of-world journey. At first I was skeptical. Could it be true? Miracles? Logic and illogical minds were in conflict. Secretly, though, I was hoping and very, very excited. 3 weeks after my last radiation treatment, I was on a plane with my brother to a remote little area called Abujamra, located off central Brazil, to a well-researched, documented phenomenon taking place. Here's a man known as the Miracle Man of Brazil, John of God. No logical explanation. He's probably the most powerful medium alive and must rank amongst the greatest psychic healers of the 21st century. I just came back from there last week. His body is being used as an instrument for spiritual entities to incorporate, giving himself over to healing and serving others. Trust me, mind-boggling until I became a witness. As the car pulled onto the unassuming red brick road, I began to feel different. Nervous, shaky, and excited to the core in anticipation. The center is known as Casa Dom Inácio. I remember the first time walking to the casa, I sensed a peaceful, sacred quietness. There was a stillness in the air that speaking sounded like noise to my ear. This area has a very high energy field and is built on a land rich in natural quartz, which is also a very powerful energy source. This place is magical. I can't seem to find words to explain what one feels here. Your thoughts, your emotions. It's like worry does not exist. There's a definite presence. And it's feeling of unconditional love that cannot be overshadowed. Most of the healings performed by Medium João are invisible. Demonstrations of visible operations are specifically performed to enable people to see the entities at work. This is done to fulfill the center's mission of not only healing the sick, but also providing proof that there's another dimension, a spirit world where we all will eventually go when this physical life expires. My definition of normal was redefined. Something happened in Abujamra. My mind, body, and soul got affected by the source of unconditional love. My spirit was excited, dancing and overjoyed. I understood as to why I got sick in the first place. I reconnected and strengthened my bond to the higher source. I felt like a child, innocent and happy. I know I'm being taken care of. I know that I'm truly loved, and I really have nothing to worry about. I had the opportunity to forgive myself for the contribution to the disease, the dark, cryptic thoughts, the guilt I felt for wasting so many youthful, precious years on weak emotions. I felt the entities working on me. I am of absolute surety that I was diagnosed for a reason. Boot camp for strength building, mental, emotional, and spiritual growth for the soul. I am being molded for something bigger. After all, we're all spirit beings having this physical experience, this human experience. I chose this experience. This is where I'm supposed to be on my perfect crooked path. Thank you.